My guest today is Vice Chairman of the Multicultural Communities Council of New South Wales, William Wonhong Seung. Good to see you, William.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome. You've had a long track record of supporting Korean community in Australia in general and specifically.
Yes.
Why is it important to you?
Well, as the first generation of immigrant, as the Korean Australian, I also want to look after Korean community here, and together with it is better to let the Australian knows the Korean community. So that's as the multicultural country as Australia. So I think it is better to.
Your public service goes back to the 1990s with the Korean Language Schools Association Australia and continues today through the current role. What motivates you?
Well, at that time is my children is at very young age, including the family too. At that time is 1980s. Yes. Not so many Korean people. Yes. We can count is about in Sydney about 6,000 people, but still, as I thought. The second generations, they keep their heritage, culture, and languages. So that's why I was the concern about that. So that at the time is many Korean churches still working. So that they have a very small the Korean language school. So that's why I want to make it we will cooperate. So I want make the Korean Language Schools Association in Australia. So we share all the information together using the same text, or we qualify as teacher supplied or all sort of things. Yeah,
so you began with that 6,000, but now the figure is much bigger now, isn't it?
Yes.
120,000
now
in
is
Sydney?
Yes, we can count in Sydney the 120,000 and the 180,000 altogether in Australia.
Did you feel when you first arrived here welcome?
Oh yes, of course. At the time I worked for the Korean Airlines.
Yes.
For 9 years. During the time, I'm luckily the posting as a regional manager Australia. Since 1979 and up to 82 for 3 years. I'm very lucky. So at that time I start to learn Australia. So good country. They like a country, the honey and milk.
and the Christian faith is very important to Korean people. Having been there and preached in Korea, I'm conscious of and they have some huge churches.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
I can remember visiting Hanam University and as well as churches in the middle of Seoul. Why do you think the Christian church in Korea has grown so much?
Well, as you know well, probably the Korea is based on the Buddhism country. It used to be Buddhism, and based on that, and Confucianism on that, the last 600 years. And then after that, early of the 20th century, the missionary group, including Australian missionary group, they introduced the Christianity to the Korean people. But after that, I think the God work for the Korean people. Very rapidly they developed. So the lots number of the Christianity in Korea. So we can count up to 1/3 of the Korean population are Christian. Same way, the many people they like after the 1980s because of so many reasons. The many the people the immigrant to United States and Australia and Canada. One of them in Australia. Australia is a good country, but like me, I'm not Christian at that time. Even when I worked for the Korean as a representative in Australia, at that time, one of my friends, the Korean representative friends, introduced me to Korean church. At that time is the Peter Sham, the Korean the Presbyterian church at the time. So there's small number of about the less than 100 people attended. That time is I start to learn of course God and Bible and all sort of things. But now I think we can count about 300 Korean church in Sydney.
That's right, and I know you're very involved in your Uniting Church.
Yes, I do.
That you're involved in. Tell me how the experience for migrants has changed over the years.
Well,
how has it changed? Is it easier? Is that for people when they come from Korea to Australia?
Yes, at the 1970 up to 2000, I think they're comparatively easier. But after that is a little harder than before. Especially these days, the Koreans and including the other immigrant people is very worried about their joining families or all sort of things. But now it has been changed. But even the last government is trying to change the law, like including the English test. Like English test, the 6.1 IELTS, that is really qualified to the university, the academic student. But of course now it's go back to...
William, it's a delight to talk to you. We know that our experience of Korean people is a warm and generous people. And I want to say to you, congratulations on your honour and award for the work that you've done. And thank you to you and all the people that you represent here in Australia. May God bless you, and thank you for joining us on the show.
Thank you very much.